Everyone, Once Bitten here with the Battle Report. So this is the second game of a one-day tourney that I played several weeks ago when I brought a Legions of Chaos list. Now for this tourney, there were severe penalties for taking a Legions list. You gave up 200 victory points each game, and you had to match anything you took from another book with something from your primary book. So if I wanted to take a rare unit, I had to have a rare unit from my primary book of equal or greater value. So yeah, so this is a good test because I think a Beastmen-led Legions list matched up against a Warriors list is somewhat indicative of the power level of the two books. 2,500 points. And let's see, this is technically an uncomped tournament, but a lot of people are still bringing comp lists just because there's tournaments all around us and they're trying to get used to a list. So anyways, got a unit of Warhounds over here, 2 Chariots, then another unit of Hounds, and behind it is pretty much the only thing that matters in his list, and that's a unit of Tzeentch Warriors. I think they are hand weapon shield. Front left in this picture is a Battle Standard Bearer. Front right is a Chaos Lord, and then he has a level 4 Lore of Tzeentch in there, hiding in what in essence is the 3rd rank, because between his 2 other characters he has just command group models there. I don't remember the build of the BSB or the Lord, except that for the most part they were built defensively. If memory serves, they both have great weapons, and all their magic points are spent on defensive stuff. Next to them are some Skull Crushers. Behind it is a War Altar. And then facing him, so on my far left, I've got that Minotaur unit is actually being proxied for a unit of Chaos Trolls. So it's from the Warriors Chaos book from their special section, so I had to match it with a Bestigor unit. In with them, I have a Doom Bull who has the Mark of Tzeentch, so he has a 4-up ward. So he has a 3-up ward save, and then I just gave him a great weapon, and he also has the Blackened Plate. So against Flaming, he hits a 2-up ward, and the unit gets a 4-up ward. So that unit of Trolls is going to have a 4-up regen or ward, no matter what kind of attacks are leveled against him. That weird unit right next to it is being proxied for a Hell Cannon. That's why these one-day tournaments, we just testing out stuff. There's no way we're going to buy and paint it just to test it out. I've got a unit of Bestigor. In with them, I've got a level 2 Lore of Beasts. And for this game, I got Transformation of Kadan. I was very excited about that. I've got a couple Chariots. They both have the Mark of Slaanesh. Behind him, I have a large unit of Gore with extra hand weapons. In there, I have a Battle Standard Bearer. So let's see, both of these infantry units are Mark of Nurgle. The BSB has the Mark of Nurgle and a 5-up ward. And let's see, yes, those are the 3 characters I have. Then I have another Chariot, Marcus Slaanesh, and behind it I've got the Cygor, because I like the idea of the Hell Cannon and the Cygor both being able to throw rocks. So Warriors of Chaos win the turn to go first and move up, as you can see. Now, when I'm looking at this, I kind of like my matchups, actually. I think the Minotaur and the Trolls handle those Skull Crushers very easily. I like the idea of the Hell Cannon doing a little bit of shooting. I think his main unit has a blasted standard, so I'm not shooting at them doesn't really help that much. But I like the idea of getting that unit tied up in combat with my infantry, and then getting the Hell Cannon hitting him in the side, just so he can do a lot of damage to rank and file troops, and he's unbreakable. And I think they're going to have a hard time killing him at only strength 4. So, anyway, looks like that. His chaff don't concern me too much. We go to Beastman, or I'm going to say Beastman turn 1, you know what I'm talking about. So, I charge one Chariot into one of his Chariots, and he opts to flee. I don't know, I might have charged 2 into 1. Anyway, he flees with 1, and I'm only able to redirect with one of my Chariots. The other one has a failed charge, which is a real bummer. I really wanted 2 Chariots charging his other Chariot. My rightmost Chariot charges dogs because it couldn't get around the dogs and hit the Chariot. So I don't love that matchup. Even on the charge, I'm not sure a Beastman Chariot, it's just a Tuskor Chariot, can handle one of the Chaos Chariots. During the magic phase, I'm going to try to force through Wissen's Wild Form, and then with D6 strength 6 impact hits, and then the increased strength on all the attacks, I think I have a decent chance. So there's the failed charge, Here are the charges that made it. If you look on the chariot in with his chariot, it looks like it's already taken a wound. During his magic phase, he cast... I don't know the spell. It's a Laura Zinch spell that... I think it does a bunch of strength 2 hits or something like that. And during his magic phase, he also got off Treasonous Zinch, so my unit over here just stumbled forward. It's kind of like failing stupidity. I mean, not quite as bad. After combat, yeah, so the unit against his war dogs obviously did very, very well. The chariot charging in his chariot, even though I got through Wissen's wild form, I took a miscast and put a wound on my spellcaster. Even with that, I only did 2 wounds. I was so frustrated. Like, darn it. I'm strength 6. He's toughness 5, but I'm strength 6. I got the impact hits. I've got, let's see, 5 attacks at strength 4. Let's see, no, 4 attacks at strength 4. I think 1 attack at strength 5, and then 1 attack at strength 7. And yeah, I think I failed Primal Fury, and that just really didn't help. And I think I rolled like 1 for the impact hits. Anyway, so I did 2 wounds to him. Well, he turns around and does 2 wounds to me, so I win by 1. He easily sticks, and that's going to cost me that chariot. Warriors of Chaos turn 2. Yeah, so he moves his dogs up in the middle, just trying to chaff things up a little bit. Again, I'm not really worried about it. The big news over here was he tried to charge the Hill Cannon with the Skull Crushers. That would have gone well for him, I believe. And they needed a pretty long roll, I think at least a 10, and they failed it, which I was happy about. During the magic phase, he gets the strength 2 hits. Again, forgive me if I'm getting that spell wrong. I think that's what it is. And I let it go on this guy because he's toughness 5, so he needs 6s to wound. And he rolls enough hits and then rolls 3 6s. Felt that was somewhat unfortunate for that guy. 275 points. He's about 100 points overcosted. After combat, yeah, his chariot easily kills my chariot. And then the bummer of it, I knew he was going to kill the chariot. I wasn't worried about that. The problem was that my chariot on the right was within 6 inches of it, so when it died, it had to take a Leadership 7 panic test and failed it. And that was just kind of a bummer because I was really hoping to do a double charge in that thing, and maybe with 2 chariots charging it, maybe, since it only has 2 wounds left, I might be able to kill the dang thing. But it wasn't to be, so I failed with 1. I still have 1 chariot that can try a charge. And we go to Beastmen turn 2. So the good news that happens is the Minotaur with the Trolls pass the stupidity test and charge the Skull Crushers. I think that's as good of a matchup as I can hope for. I mean, I think if you do the math, from all his hits, if he puts them into the Trolls, he's going to wound about 22% of the time. So that's just really not many wounds. And then the Doom Bull by himself, that great weapon, is just going to do a bunch of attacks. I have all the auto hit strength 5 attacks from the Trolls. I think we're just going to do a lot of damage. If we can do 6 wounds, that kills 2 guys. He should break. If he breaks, then it kills a 3rd guy with the banner, and then he's rallying on Snake Eyes, and that's all I need. The big downside of the Doom Bull, of course, is that they have to overrun, and then they can only overrun D6. So that's not ideal. I would have loved to have beaten them in combat and then just reformed, but that's the downside of taking Minotaur characters. You can see I kind of screwed up. I charged my chariot to his chariot. He said he would stick. Then I charged, I believe, my Hill Cannon into his dogs, and he fled, and the dogs landed, I think they rolled like an 11, and landed right in front of my chariot. That was just poorly timed on my part. If I really wanted to do it with the Hill Cannon, I should have done that one first. Anyway, so my chariot's going to fail its charge. The Hill Cannon redirected into his main unit. I think it would have clipped, and I think it's in the flank and would have clipped. That's if my memory serves. I'm pretty sure that's what was the case because I was okay because I didn't think that his BSB was going to kill my guy, and I can just sit here lobbing attacks at his Battle Standard Bearer, and I'm unbreakable. And if he reforms to get more attacks and stuff like that, he's risking counter charges with all my troops. So anyway, failed that charge. It was kind of a long one. It wasn't like it was super likely. Yeah, there's that. I love being able to use my Minotaur models. So during the magic phase, I forced through Transformation of Kadan, and yeah, I get a miscast, and the only result I fear is the 8 or 9, and I don't fear that too much. Well, I guess I would fear a dimensional cascade and being sucked into the warp, but I fear an 8 or 9 does a strength 6 hit to me, and anyway, so that's the result I get, and I'm like, well, that's okay because I'm a mountain chimera. I've got a pretty high toughness. I think I'm toughness 7. Anyway, I roll a 6 into the second wound. So now all my opponent has to do is dispel that in his turn, and my wizard dies. Okay, great. Fan freaking tastic. After combat, yeah, these guys just rip through those skull crushers. I think I took 1 wound. I mean, just they handled him very, very nicely. We go to Warriors of Chaos turn 3. I think his main unit, the only unit that matters, charged my gore unit, and that was actually bad on my part. I think I'd backed up, and so it was a long charge, and thankfully he failed it, because had he made it, he just would have eaten through that unit and would not have been steadfast. So, yeah, learned my lesson there, because on my next turn I'm going to reform into ranks. His chariot charges my Cygor, and it's with only, I think, 2 wounds remaining. I'm likely going to die there. And his dogs rally. Yep, there's that charge. And thank you. Thank you for failing that. I don't know what he needed. I think he needed like a 10. And during his magic phase, yeah, he just dispels that, and I lose my spellcaster. And then, of course, he kills the Cygor. So we go to the Beastmen, Legion's Beastmen turn 3. So yeah, I take my main troop and I reform him. I take the Hell Cannon and I charge the flank of that unit. I don't know if that would have been ideal or not, because he makes way with his Chaos Lord, and he might just very well be able to kill that thing in a couple rounds of combat. But regardless, I failed it, which is probably the best thing that could have happened. I passed the stupidity test with my Doom Bull and reform those guys, so I actually really like where I'm at. If he charges my Gore unit, there's no way I'm not going to be steadfast. If I can keep my Battle Standard Bearer alive, then I'll be steadfast on an 8 rerollable, which I'm pretty confident will work. And then if I can charge the rear with my Doom Bull or him and his whole unit and charge the flank with the Hell Cannon, I'm golden. Now, of course, he's got that War Altar that he can try to park in the way, but he can't march. It might be difficult to get that to where it's truly redirecting him. So, yeah, there's that failed charge. Again, that's probably a good thing. So we go to Warriors turn 4. So he takes his main unit, charges my Gore unit, takes a chariot in the flank. Now, my chariot that had panicked earlier is in the bottom right of this corner, so he shouldn't break me, and if he doesn't, that's going to get a charge into the flank of his chariot. So not only should I get some wounds there, but it's an additional flank, because you can't count multiple flank bonuses against the same unit, but against different units in the same combat you can. He moves his War Altar over, so I think it is indeed blocking that unit, but that's okay. If I put the Hell Cannon in their flank and charge the flank of their chariot, and then charge the best Gores into where they're clipping his BSB, I think that might be enough anyway. Yeah, so there's that. And after combat, I'm missing a lot of bodies. My opponent's not. I don't think I did any wounds. Of course, I have to attack either his Chaos Lord or his BSB. Both are very well protected. I think I killed his champion, I think. But yeah. So we go to Beastman turn 4, and the one thing that happened that was bad was my Doom Bull, that unit failed their stupidity test. It's the problem with having that unit so far away from my Battle Standard Bearer. Their leadership 8, it's very failable, and they failed it. I was so bummed. I mean, first of all, there's a lot of points in that War Altar. I think I can crush it. And then more importantly, I can overrun D6 and still be positioned next time to charge the rear of the main unit. Even if he moves his dogs up to block, I think it might be tough for him to... Well, it wouldn't be tough. I mean, I might waste a couple turns, but those guys are definitely posing a threat in his rear. The important thing is we got the Hell Cannon into the flank of his warriors that has, I think 5 attacks at high strength, but then the Thunder Stomp. So I should get just a bunch of wounds there. My Bestigor are in there, making sure he can't be steadfast, plus they can throw a couple attacks on his BSB high strength. I've got the flank charges, chariot with impact hits, and, I mean, his Chaos Lord is killy, but a lot of his killiness is in his high strength, which is wasted on my Gore. So, he has 5 attacks. He hits 3 or 4. He wounds 2 or 3. It's not really that big of a deal. So I'm actually really, really excited about the combat. I think I'm breaking him right here. Yeah, there's some... Wait a whole second. No, they were treasoned again. That's what happened. They didn't fail their stupidity. They had the spell where they have random movement D6. That's how it worked. Yeah, so I just stumbled forward. It's kind of a bummer. There's that. You can tell I'm so excited about this. Because again, the Skull Crushers were easy to handle, and then the only thing that matters in this game is crushing this unit, and I've got 4 units tied up with it. And it doesn't freaking matter. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I was so mad. The Hell Cannon goes in, whiffs all its attacks. I think it might have done 1 wound. It rolls 1 for Thunderstomp and doesn't wound. My Chariot charges the flank of his Chariot, does 0 wounds. 0 freaking wounds. My BSB gets himself killed, and at that point, even though my best score was Steadfast, they failed their Steadfast. I mean, it just went to shit right there. Everything. So yeah, very frustrated. Very, very frustrated. Warriors turn 5, there's not a whole lot else to do. He just has to fight those combats, which he can easily win. He takes his dogs and his War Altar in front of the only unit I have left that poses any kind of threat. And since we're on turn 5, that means the most I'm going to be able to do is pick up a few relatively small units. Yeah, there's that. After combat, yeah, I mean, easily kills all of those things. And that, of course, well, that's on his turn. On my turn, the Bestigor want nothing to do with it. They run all the way off the table. The other unit rallies, but big freaking deal. They can't do anything against that Warriors unit. And this is when my either I fail stupidity or I'm still treason. I think I failed stupidity, because if I was still treason, I could have stumbled forward. I'm sorry, forgive me. If it was treason of Tzeentch, I have random movement, but I can still get in a charge, and he was close enough I would have got the charge. I think they just failed their stupidity. At this point in the game, I'm like, of course they did. Warriors turn 6, he charges his main unit and my Gore unit. They don't have a chance at all, and they easily beat him, and that's the game. So, I don't know. I was actually having fun with this game, even with a few things I felt were going wrong, until I had that quadruple charge and just bounced. I'm done. I'm so done with this list. I don't know what to do. If I can quadruple charge your unit and just bounce off, then yeah, I don't know. So yeah, not a great outing. Now I'm going into the third game, and I'm not in a bad mood by any means, but I'm frustrated and discouraged with this list, and so I'm like, yeah, whatever. Let's just throw the list out there and see what it does. Anyway, that's it. Definitely open for suggestions. It's easy to say, oh, I just had bad luck. I think certainly getting the Doom Bull and Trolls away from the Battle Standard Bearer was bad. But then again, they needed to take care of the Skull Crushers. And my opponent, I think, just did a good job of knowing where and when to put in treason, and then of using redirectors on them. I think a huge mistake was when I reformed the Gore, I should have taken the Battle Standard Bearer out and put him with the Bestigor so that he wasn't at a risk in combat. And that was just a dumb mistake. Had he been with the Bestigor, then he wouldn't have gotten killed, and then when I went in and I bounced, at least my units probably would have stuck around. Regardless, that's the game. Hope you enjoyed it. Hey everyone, Once Bitten here. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. As you know, YouTube has several functions you can use to interact with videos such as this. You can like the video, you can leave a comment, you can favorite the video. I want you to know that I appreciate it when you do things like that. It feels much more interactive than simply me talking to a screen. So if you're willing to do so, please like, comment, and favorite the videos. Subscribe to the channel if you want, and you certainly are welcome to share this video on your blog or other websites if you are so inclined. Again, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.